everybody. Thank you so much for watching Blue Monday Live. We have a very special episode tonight with our guest, Ernie Durawa, who is a Grammy Award-winning Texas legend, and he's going to be playing drums with Harold McMillan, Matthew Brodnax, myself today. So we're really excited to have him on the show. We get to learn about his extensive history in the Central Texas scene. This man is amazing. So we're going to learn more about his life today. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my Patreon. Go to OscarOrnelas.com for more information. We'll see you in a bit.
Turned into something. Now I need some further instruction. I'll admit it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm back where I started, living my life without you. I hate to complain, but I got more to say. I tried to make it work every day. I'll admit it, you know I'm feeling so blue. It's time to go. Where I end up, oh, I swear I don't know. I'll admit it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm back where I started, living my life without you. Well, I'm back where I started, living my life without you. Last time. Well, I'm back where I started, living my life without you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Blue Monday Live with Oscar Ornelas. I'm sitting here with the Grammy Award-winning Texas legend, Mr. Ernie Durawa. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir, man. It's been an honor to get a chance to play with music with you today. I really appreciate you coming out for the show today.
It felt good to play, man. I haven't played in so long. It just felt really good to play. You guys sound really good, too.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man. I want to dive right into about your history, sir. So, well, tell me about when and where you were born.
Well, I was born in San Antonio on the west side, the barrio, back in 1942.
Yeah.
That makes me up there.
Yes, sir.
Which is coming up real soon.
When's your birthday?
December the 4th.
Oh, nice. Well, happy early birthday, man.
Not far away.
Yeah. Well, brother, when you were growing up, what was the music that you heard in your household?
Well, it's what I played, you know. I got turned on to these different drummers, you know, and they were all playing different styles, you know, like I was listening to Max Roach, Art Blakey, a lot of jazz stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then actually I go back. Let me back up on that. It was really Tejano, the original Tex-Mex stuff, you know, which was Mexican conjunto music.
Okay,
That's the first stuff that I
remember?
actually heard. Yeah. And then I felt like, you know, like, this is not too exciting. I need something more exciting, man, more challenging to listen. So I started checking out these drummers, and they were playing jazz. They were playing, you know. I got a gig well, still a kid.
Yeah.
My mom had a bar actually on the west
Okay,
side.
yeah. What was the name of that bar?
Huh?
What was the name of that bar?
It was called Casa Virginia,
Casa Virginia.
and she had a conjunto band playing there.
Yeah,
And I lived in the back, see, so I could hear them at night playing.
that's what's up.
So
yeah.
when they left the instruments there.
Yeah.
You know, I was a little kid. I'd go screw around with the instruments. you know,
Really?
never knowing that it was going to be, I was going to get hooked on it. you
Yeah.
know. It was really how it happens, you know. But so yeah, and then my mom said, you know, yeah, actually I went through all these instruments. You know, I went through a bass, accordion.
Yeah.
I had to play. She said, "You don't take piano lessons." You know, so I took piano lessons
That's what's up. Yeah.
for a while, and then drums. It's like kind of like the last instrument. I said, that this feels right for me, you know.
Yeah.
And she said, she bought me a set of drums for $75.
Man, how old are you when you started playing drums?
About 11.
11?
Yeah.
That's what's up, brother.
So it's kind of. I was thinking about it the other day about my mom, who this last week was the anniversary of her passing. You know,
Okay.
I was on the road
Yeah.
when she passed. I was on the road with Delbert McClinton, so I couldn't get back for that. But I was just thinking about the investment that she made of $75. You know,
It's a lot for the 50s.
and where I ran with it.
Yeah.
And still running. You know.
I mean, yeah, you have a historic career, brother. Tell me about what it was like growing up Mexican American, you know, Chicano in the 50s.
Yeah.
How was that in San Antonio?
If there was any kind of racism like there is now,
Yeah.
I sure didn't see it.
Really?
You know,
That's
no,
what's up.
it might have flown over my head. I didn't even realize there was anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the word prejudice was about, you know.
I love
And,
that. Yeah.
Even now, you know, I mean, if people have been, like, if there's been any kind of racial thing, I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it, you know, but I see that what's going on,
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of sad, you know.
But you know, growing up, you know, as a Chicano and like, you know, hearing, you know, the music for like R&B music and rhythm and
Yeah.
blues, and you know, just tell me about how all of that like just came together for you. The jazz, the blues, you know, the conjunto.
You know, when you grew up in Texas, because Texas is a melting pot of music.
Yeah.
You know, we got the Germans here. Yeah, I like to say, you know, what's the definition of conjunto music?
Yeah.
It's German music played on stolen instruments.
Yeah.
Because the Chicanos, you know, we found the German accordions and we started playing basically with this German polka music
Yeah.
turned into conjunto music, which is, you know, Tejano music or whatever.
Yeah, because you got
And-
the tubas as well. You know, it's it looked like it's like the German band setup. You know,
Yeah.
but it's Spanish speaking music.
It's amazing, man. And,
Yeah.
and so the bottom line is that all music's related.
Yes, sir.
You know, all music related. And so after a while, you know, I discovered rock and roll, and then when the Beatles came out,
Yeah.
and then Elvis Presley, and then Chuck Berry, and,
Yeah.
you know, I was a big Fats Domino fan.
Hell yeah.
You know, I
Me
loved
too,
all
yeah.
that, you know, all that New Orleans stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, man, you know, this is wonderful. And then my sister was staying with us, and she liked country music.
Yeah.
And so she'd be playing Hank Williams, you know, Webb Pierce, you know, all this country music.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where, well, I was digging, you know, all this other stuff. And then I got a gig with Spot Barnett, who had a black
Sax
band.
player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just lost
Just
him.
passed
a
away.
few
Yes,
months
sir.
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So I started playing on the east side of San Antonio with him and all these black clubs.
Yeah.
And it was great, man. I just like, because he would start out the first set playing jazz. And then the second set, it would be just totally blues, all blues. You know?
Yeah.
So I got to really dig in that. And then as I got older and I got these gigs, you know, I did a show with John Lee Hooker, you know, and then I did some stuff with Joe Turner. And
Yeah.
and
How
some
old
of-
are you when you're doing those shows?
I was about 16 or 17, man. I was just a
Man, yeah.
kid, you know. It all fell on me and
Yeah.
right in front of me. You know, it's like, holy shit, you know.
Were those artists like touring through San
They were
Antonio?
passing through town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm writing a book right now about my whole
love
autobiography
that.
about my life story with
Yes,
all these
sir.
things. And so I've been reviewing a lot of that stuff and people that I work with.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like I even toured with Tiny Tim at one time.
Yeah.
People go, Tiny Tim, you know, because during Hemisphere '68, San Antonio,
Yeah.
I met this guy named Sergeant Parker, who was in the military, Randolph, and he was looking for a rhythm section that he was bringing these artists into town, and he was looking for a rhythm section to back these acts.
Yeah, okay.
And I got hired by him, and one of the acts he had was Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
So, and it was all tour military bases.
Gotcha. Oh, that's what's up, yeah.
And then he brought in George Goebel, the comedian, and some other people like that, you know. But so I started playing in a blues band, and then around 1962, I got popped and thrown in jail in Gonzales because you know, we had a little bit of this, you know.
It happens.
And so I had to spend like 4 days in the Gonzales jail, you know.
Yeah.
But I was basically innocent because it was found in my car, but it was found in my buddy's suitcase. It was I didn't even know what he had in his suitcase.
Did they put your buddy in jail too, or were you by yourself?
Oh yeah, no, we all went to
with-
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but he finally said, "Hey man, Ernie didn't know
Yeah.
what was in my suitcase," and they said, "Well, it was found in your car." I said, "Well," but they let me go. You know, it was like they knew they didn't have a case.
Yeah.
But 1962, man, I tell you
Different
what,
world.
it was dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, God was looking after me, man,
For
because
sure.
back then, you know, it's not like it is today.
No, no, no.
You know, totally different. However, you know, so the music thing is kind of like that. And then I met Doug Somm
Yes, sir.
when
Yeah.
in high school.
You met him in high school?
Yeah, we met about 58, 59.
58?
Yeah, we were playing teen canteens and
Yeah.
little gigs like that, you know.
And this is before, though, like, Doug Somm was, like, the national known name, right? Back when you were younger?
No, this is before. It's even before the Sir Douglas Quintet.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Before the Texas Tornadoes.
Yeah.
All that came much later.
Yes, sir.
So we did that and then I just bounced around, you know, and
Well,
from
tell me
gigs.
about playing with Clifford Scott and then recording that song Honky Tonk, because that's one of my favorite songs.
Well, with Clifford, you know, he was really big on the West Coast, and you know, that last album that he did called Out Front, he did it with Les McCann and Joe Pass.
Nice, yeah.
And some great, you know, and plus he toured with Ray Charles for a long time.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
You know, he was all over the place. But finally, at one point, he came back to San Antonio because he's from San Antonio.
Mhm.
And I forgot how I met him, but one day, you know, I just knew. I asked him, you know, hey man, I should like to book some gigs with you and stuff, and
Yeah,
he was all happy about it. So I'd go pick him up, I'd bring him to Austin.
yeah.
He would play with me here. And one day I just said, hey, I'm gonna take you in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So we took him in the studio, and that recording that I just produced, which I'll give you a copy of today,
please, yeah.
is what came out. But we did that 20-something years ago,
Mhm.
and I couldn't find the DAT tape to it. I had misplaced it, and I was really bummed out because I knew it was a really good recording.
Yeah.
And I said, man, if I ever find that DAT tape, I'm gonna put it out because after Clifford died, especially,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been like it could have been maybe the last actual recording that he did,
Really?
where he just played his butt off, you know.
Yeah.
So I was looking for something different, and I found it,
Yeah.
and it was like, wow, here it is, the DAT tape. So I pressed 100 copies, but not to sell. It's mainly just for my
Historical.
friends as a
Yeah.
promotion, you know.
Yeah, I mean, really, it is like a piece of history, though, you have.
Yeah,
there.
he's a big, definitely, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that song, Honky Tonk, is great. You know, like, Flaco Jimenez does, like, a good, you know, conjunto version of that song. You know, there's just a bunch of great versions of that song.
Yeah, Flaco is, he's amazing, man. The best description that someone gave about the Texas Tornadoes
Mhm.
was someone described us as the how do you say the Rolling Stones of Tex-Mex music.
I love that. I'll take that.
I never heard that before, but I told you, that's crazy. The Rolling Stones of Tex-Mex music. Because first it used to be they used to call the guys the Mexican Beatles. You know, because there was Doug
Yeah.
Somm, Freddie Fender,
Yeah.
Flaco, and Augie.
Well, I mean, before you got into like that big, you know, big time essentially, you know, before you're like on Saturday Night Live playing with the Delbert, you know, like what was the one point where that made you decide to be a drummer, like professionally?
You know, once I started playing and I started seeing, not only was I happy, but I was starting to see the people out there smiling, being happy with what I was doing.
Yeah.
It just gave me this wonderful feeling of, wow. And then on top of that, when I started getting paid
Yeah.
and making money off of it, I went, well, hell, man, this is it. This is where I'm going to be. This is what I like. I'm getting paid to have fun.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
I mean,
what-
I
yeah.
don't say that it was always fun. I mean, I paid you know, I've slept on funky ass places
I
on
bet,
the road
man.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
you know, I paid my dues.
Yes, sir.
But
I mean, what's that? I mean, as far as when you know, what's some good advice? Because there is a bunch of musicians out there just swinging for the fences, you know? Like, what's something that helped you keep going, you know, that you could share with us?
Well, unfortunately, because of our situation now,
Yeah.
I feel for the younger guys that are trying to survive right now.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys came to Austin uh, at the beginning, before they knew the South by Southwest was going to get canceled.
Yeah.
Because everybody came to Austin thinking, I'm going to go to Austin, I'm going to get discovered, I'm
Yeah.
going to get a contract, I'm going to do this. And
Right.
I felt sorry that they came here. And then in March,
Yeah.
everything just fell apart. You know, I mean, I had a ton of gigs booked. Everything just dried up.
Oh,
right?
yeah, man.
So
Have you ever seen anything similar to this? Like in your
no,
40, 50 years, you know?
I know,
Nothing?
man.
Yeah.
This is you know, like for me, quote, these are my golden years. My golden years are down the tubes.
Yeah.
You know,
I got you,
because
brother. Yeah.
if this thing lasts for 2 more years, you know, I'll be 80.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah. I'm going to try to keep playing, but who knows?
Right. No, I
don't
hear
know,
you,
man,
brother.
know.
Yeah.
This is the first time I play. That's why I had fun playing with you today, because
Thank
it
you,
felt
brother.
so good to just get out and play the drums again, you know?
Hell yeah. No, I
But,
felt that, yeah.
So as far as telling what these young guys need to do is they're up against a tough one right now because of this pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up against fighting the fact of, oh man, I got to go to a club and I got to worry about catching this stuff and all that. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they got all these roadblocks that we didn't have.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have any of that. I mean, we didn't have this pandemic. You know,
No,
we were
sir,
we were
yeah.
doing so. So I feel for them, man. I feel for them,
Yeah.
but you know, if they can hang out, if they're young enough, and this thing's over in 2 years,
Yeah.
you know, they have a chance to keep going and
Continue, yeah.
doing their passion if they want to keep doing it. You know,
Yes, sir. No,
us older guys don't. You know,
I've had some conversations with my older friends, and that's the one thing that they're just, you know, most disheartened about. You know, it is like the future seems a little bleak right now. You know, I feel confident that, you know, technology will help, you know, make it simpler for all of us. You know, I hope that's what I hope for. You know, you don't have to lug your drum set, you know, 4 blocks down and park, you know, and all
Yeah.
that. Like that thing, hopefully there'll be some trade-off in the future. Well, brother, tell me about your experiences, like in the, you know, when you hit it, what was the moment that you felt like I've done it? You know, I got to this point where you feel like, you know, you don't necessarily don't have to work anymore, but you feel like you accomplished what you you're set out for.
when I went out to California as soon as I graduated from high school,
Yeah.
thinking I was going to go out there and get famous or whatever, I ended up having to eat popcorn from the bars because I didn't have any money.
I've been there. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
hear
I
you,
mean,
brother.
that's like, okay, all we got to eat is popcorn.
Yeah.
It's free from the bars. You can eat you can live off of popcorn.
Yeah.
You know, that it's like, fortunately, those days are gone. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the Roach motels,
Yes, sir.
not very fun.
Yeah.
But I went from that to Hilton hotels, to Hyatt Regency hotels.
Yeah.
I went from this to that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of it, I mean, I don't know that to say it's luck, man, but I work real hard, you know, to
Yeah.
try to better myself as a musician.
Yeah.
You know, I went up to Chicago and I studied with the best teacher in the world up there as a fluke how I met him.
Yeah.
And, you know, I struggled. I lived in one little room in Chicago, you know, when I first got there.
Yes, sir.
And then slowly but surely, I met this cat, and next thing I knew, I was playing the Playboy Club
Yeah.
in
Nice.
Chicago, and then from there, I went to the Playboy in Lake Geneva,
Yeah.
Wisconsin, the Playboy Resort.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, I came back, and I met the older brother of Nat King Cole, Isaac Cole, who had a trio,
Yeah.
and he hired me to play with him, and we were playing opposite George Shearing up in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Then I came back to town, and then next thing I knew, I was playing on the 95th floor of the Hancock Building on a
Wow.
jazz gig.
Yeah.
I'm going, shit, how did this happen, man? I just come from the bottom of the West Side.
Yeah.
I ended up on the 95th floor of the Hancock Building, you know?
That's wild, man. Yeah.
It's crazy, you know?
Well, brother, I want to have just a final question for you. Is, you know, what has the blues, because it's a blues show, what is like the blues meant to you? You know, what is the blues to you?
Well, it's I love the blues, man. It's good feeling. It's good feeling music. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it originated in New Orleans or wherever it came from, but I know that I learned about it when I was 17, 18, playing in the black blues clubs. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of the blues artists that I played with as a kid were, you know, as a young kid, were like already like Joe Turner and,
Yeah,
and John
yeah.
Lee. You know, Gape Mouth Brown.
Oh,
You know,
nice.
and
Yeah,
I played
yeah.
with Gape Mouth Brown a couple of
yeah.
times. And those guys, I just knew, man. Like, you know, and then because I've always been a big Fats Domino fan.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because I loved all the stuff that he was doing, and so I can't. The thing is, I finally realized that I love music. Period. You know,
Yeah.
I can't just say I love this kind of music more than that kind of music or this kind of music.
Yeah, you've played it all.
Because
yeah.
I love it. It which makes me happy the most, you
Oh,
know, and stuff, you know. I met Hal Blaine. Hal Blaine actually wrote the foreword to my book. And you know, remember Hal Blaine, the most recorded drummer in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
He played on everything, you know.
Yeah.
I met him in LA once, and so it was like when I saw the stuff that he played on and recorded, you know, he did. You know, he played with Elvis, he Beach Boys, and then he did Frank Sinatra, and
everybody.
and he did so many different styles and things that he did, you know. And he lived to be 90, and I think he just passed away, but he was still he was just a huge inspiration, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as I lived, you know, I mean, this whole thing like Antone's and the Blues Club and everything is
Yeah.
great, but it's almost like I lived those years as a kid. We had our own little version of Antone's
Yeah.
growing up when I was a kid in San Antonio, you know.
Yeah.
So, but the funny thing about it is that the conjunto music or the Tex-Mex music I started playing as a kid is my roots, you know. And I kept thinking that music wasn't really going to get me anywhere because I had to do something more exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I made the full circle because it was with the Tornadoes. It was the music that put us on top of the world.
Yeah. Where you can get first class tickets.
And I
Yeah.
I couldn't figure that out. I'm going, wait a minute, this is really crazy, man, because this is what I was trying to get away from.
Yeah.
But this is what really opened up everything,
That's
you
amazing,
know,
brother.
because it's just roots music. And then I realized, yeah, this is really good feeling music, you know.
Yeah.
And when you play with a guy like Flacco on the accordion, you know, and those guys, every one of those guys had a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, man.
That's
But
what's up, brother.
I'm worried about them because you know, I'm actually one of the younger guys in the band because they're like 81 and 82 and
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know how they're doing. I mean, we have a new album out, by the way,
Okay, yeah,
or it's recorded,
Yeah. When's it being released?
but it's not released yet.
Okay.
They're doing. Last I heard, they were still doing overdubs or something, you know. But
Gotcha.
it's coming out,
Yeah. That'd be
and
good,
it's
man.
going to be called Tornado Legends.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah,
brother.
that's the name of the album.
That's awesome.
But
man.
listen, man, thanks for having me.
Man, Ernie, it's been
Yeah.
a pleasure, brother. Thank you
Yeah,
so
man,
much.
I
man.
wish you the best with your shows
Thank
here,
you, sir.
and
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
watching.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you, brother.
for me. Well, I ain't working no more.
Well, thank you so much for watching the show, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very good time today with Ernie Durawa. We appreciate you watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my Patreon. Next week, we have a very special show with a East Austin drumming legend, Mr. William Fagan. So do not miss that episode. It's going to be a good time. Thank you so much for watching.